I've got a lovely floral framed octagon card for you. I just love the way these corners look going all the way around it. I'll show you what we'll be using. For our sentiment, we are using the Petite Lavish sentiments and just using the thank you in there. From our finishing touches range, the Floral Melody Corner, and this has got a couple of flowers that we're going to add in to give a pop of color. And the center of our card is coming from the Noble Collection, the Lavish Accented Octagons, this part right here. And we're going to create a frame with the double-stitched octagons just to highlight that sentiment. Okay, so what I've done ahead of time is I've cut an aperture here, and I've just used this center die out of our Lavish Accented Octagons, okay? And I've added some mounting foam on the back because we want to raise that to recess our die down into it. I'm going to put that over some of our Blue Dusk card. So take our backing off of our mounting foam. And just to keep it nice and supported, I've gone all the way around the inside edges of these this octagon too. You don't want to have it sag in the center at all. I'll pop that right into the middle of that. There we go. So now, in fact, just before we go any further, I think it'd be easier if I just go ahead and put it onto our backing. So I've got a a piercing all the way around the edge and a double white on white matte layer. I'm going to add it with some mounting foam here. Give it some nice support. Put that right into the middle, and I will give you a couple of measurements here. In fact, let's try it this way. That's better. Okay. The piece that I cut the aperture out of is 6 and, let's call it 6 5/8 square, and the outside edge piece here is 7 7/8 square. Yes, just under 8 inches. Okay, so now I've got that Blue Dusk there, that beautiful center here. So I've gone ahead and cut that same die that I cut the aperture from, using as the outside edge, and then I used the inside decorative piece to give it a beautiful detail. I'm going to go ahead and put a few pretty pearls on there before I put it down into the recessed area. We'll just add some right at the corners here. I've got some little 3mm white pearls, just a pretty little touch, I think. These lines intersecting give you all sorts of options for pearls. So pretty. Okay, so now I'm just going to use a little bit of spray glue. Grab my tweezers, give it a shot. And I think just to make sure it stays nice and glued down, I'm going to add a little bit of dry as clear glue and just some corner pieces. That'll make sure it's nice and secure. Okay. Recess that down right into the center there from where it came. And I can just use my pokey tool to get it popped down and straightened. Make sure it's nice in place. Isn't that lovely? I think that looks so pretty already. So I've gone ahead and I've cut most of my corners here. So I've cut it in white, and I've done the flowers in a Blue Dusk and then a sort of a dusty pink and a blush color. Okay, and there should be, there we go, 2 of the smaller ones. So what you can do is just go along the back of this, add a little bit of glue right around the edges. Just get a little bit here, and if it squeezes out a little bit, it dries perfectly clear, so don't worry about that. And we are just going to figure out which direction this goes, and I think that's about right. Pop that into place and just get it lined up like that. So we'll add that blue color in. I'll do the pink rose down here in the corner. A little bit of glue around the edge of the back. You can even take your hand and just sort of spread it around like that if you like. And pick it up, let's see, just like that. Move it into place. So it'll line up perfectly with that little embossed line that shows. And then I've got two of these sort of lily-looking flowers. Now, they're not the same, so you kind of just need to look at them. One's got a little bit longer of a petal than the other. And this one looks like it goes here, so let's do this one first. A little bit of glue on the back of this, all the way around the edge. There we go. And I'm just going to try and pick that piece up. If you put it on, it looks like it doesn't fit, then you've got the wrong one put on there. And just move it over to the other flower. It's pretty easy. And then this one, right here. A little bit of glue, get that bottom area anchored. Pop that into place. Move that. There we go. So you can pick that one up. So you've got all that really pretty area covered with some beautiful color. Now I'm going to add a little bit of mounting foam to the back of those. Put a big piece in the middle of the blue, that won't show. And we'll split a piece between the two smaller pink ones. And then let's trim one for that rose, about that size. That'll be perfect. Okay, so I'm going to bring my corner back over. And the one other thing that I did do with the three of these, what I like about this die is that you can take bits and pieces out or away from it if you like. And I found that just this little leaf that sticks out right here was sort of in the way from my frame. So I just nipped it away on all four of them. And it doesn't even cause any problem with the design at all. So I really like that. So I'm going to peel off the backing on these. Just lay them into the corners. About like that. We're going to leave a little bit of room. They're going to sort of overlap the edges. And do the same with the rest of these. There we go. And you can have just a tiny bit of tickle with each other around the tops. And the mounting foam is nice because it will allow you to kind of pick it up, move them if you need to replace them once they all get into place. And around this way, a little bit like that. There we go. And let's see how the last one looks. Around like that. Now I'm just going to lay this one into place. We may end up moving some of these around a little bit. I've left an area here because we're going to add a frame. Now I've used some of these two consecutive dies in the middle of the double-stitched octagons to create this really pretty, very thin little frame to highlight my aperture. And I've added a bit of mounting foam to raise it. You have a really lovely dimension that way. Peel off our backings. And the last one here. And I'm going to seat that right over our design. Looks good. So if you want to move any of these at this point, you've still got some flexibility. So maybe pop that one up a little higher, but I love the way that's coming around. Really, really pretty. And our sentiment. And because you have the different centers on these dies, this one is not the same as these. I've been able to cut a stitched one, the non-stitched one as a matte, and then the further sentiment cut on the stitched one to give a really pretty matte layer there. So I brought in both the pinks around my sentiment, and I'm going to put that in the center so that your pretty blue is the nice backing there. And we're just going to line that up ever so nicely. And I would just finish this off with a few pearls on some of those smaller flowers, and you have a gorgeous card. Really, really like that. Hope you've enjoyed today's video, and don't forget our YouTube channel is just full of more videos for you to watch.